I'll tell you my observation of differences between those two approaches, because one is not better than the other, believe it or not. It goes back to what we're talking about, complexity of change. So we've been to sites where it's a site that's isolated in the middle of nowhere, and they couldn't give whatever for whose name is on the door, right? So their sites are being traded, between companies like, oh yeah, this mine site's now this badge, this mine site's now this badge. So those sites, if you have a site like that, that's sort of like, hey, we're local, we're here, we're running this operation, right? If you try to drive corporate change, if you try to decide and suddenly change, oh, your standards are different, now you're part of our logo, so this is what's different, you're not going to get a huge amount of traction necessarily. You're going to get a bit more resistance from that site. So there is that happens. But it also depends on other dynamics. So if this site is isolated in a remote place where, there are no other jobs, there are no other options for these individuals to go work at, right? The resistance level is lower because they know that this is their only source of employment, right? So it's really contextual to where everything is at, right? But what happens when decisions are made from a corporate perspective, because I have a preference of what type of organizations I like to work with. I don't know if I should say that over here, but when decisions are made from a corporate perspective, right? What happens is corporate has no idea what is actually happening at site. So they may lay out a roadmap and it's literally making a PowerPoint presentation as far as corporate is concerned, but they have no idea what's happening at site. They have no context on how they're going to bake in the improvements, how they're going to get a higher rate of productivity or anything. They have these theories sitting in a corporate office. They need to be at site. So I guess my bias is given away. I like to work with organizations where the site drives a lot of the decision making. I find like one of the organizations we work with, they do it really well, where they actually bake in those corporate mandated priorities into people's performance plans. So when the mine manager or the mill manager has the corporate expectation baked into their plan, so the corporate has defined what needs to be done, site defines how it gets done. So I think that's that level of autonomy and control, because you have to give sites some level of autonomy and control in terms of what you're looking to deploy. But from a enterprise standard, a software standards perspective, there absolutely must be some thou shalls in terms of the use of technology, because you don't want to be having a best of breed situation amongst your sites if you don't have a really good way to do data valorization and unlocking that data into a standard set of reports that will give you an idea of how each site is performing apples to apples.